Hey guys, today I'm sharing some spooky Halloween DIYs that look like high-end decor but cost just a few dollars to make. From Pottery Barn dupes to quick little projects, I've got plenty of ideas to get your home looking festive without spending a fortune. So get cozy, grab a coffee, and let's dive in. So my inspiration for this DIY comes from Pottery Barn's faux black tree. Their version is over $100 and is 21 inches tall. So when I saw these picks for $1.50 each from the Dollar Tree, I knew I could turn them into something pretty close with just two of them. All I had to do was cut off the candy corn and these little balls and spray paint it black. And don't worry if you can't find these exact pics. They actually have something similar on Amazon that you could use, and I'll link it below in the description box. So once it was painted, I cut off two of the smaller branches on one of the stems so I could put the two pieces together easier with floral tape. I used a brown tape, but it doesn't matter the color because we'll touch everything up with some black paint when we're all done. The two smaller branches I leave until the end to fill in where we need it. So now it's time to paint the pot, and I actually had the exact same size terracotta pot in my gardening stash. It's a 5x4, which is a pretty common size, and your pot doesn't have to be terracotta. It could be plastic or ceramic, but if it's plastic, you'll want to weight it down with some rocks or rice. And to keep with the inspiration, Pottery Barn's pot looks like concrete. So just taking gray chalk paint by Folk Art in the color Maui Sands with some baking soda to give the pot some texture, I gave it one good coat. I thought it was going to have to add more color, but once everything dried, I was happy with the color and the texture. So now for the fun part of seeing it all come together. I cut up some of the blackish pool noodle, also from the Dollar Tree. I add it to my pot, and then I decide where I'm going to place the little tree. I also made sure to add lots of hot glue. Once I'm happy with everything, I add back the branches, the two leftover branches that I took away, and then the Spanish moss to finish it off. And then it was time for the lights. Now Dollar Tree sells the battery-operated fairy lights, but I got these from Amazon. They were only $5 for a 6-pack, and they already come with batteries. I like them better because the battery pack is smaller, but you can use the Dollar Tree ones. It's really about preference. I ended up using 2 packs. I just kept winding the lights around the branches until I liked how it looked. Also with these fairy lights, the wire is very easy to mold and bend. And for only $6, I now have a beautiful tree that gives me the haunted vibe like the Pottery Barn version. And it was super easy to make. For the next DIY, I don't have an inspiration. I just fell in love with these shelf sitters from the Dollar Tree. They have a vintage look to me, and the back side is a chalkboard. The pumpkin one is my favorite, and I knew we could elevate it a little and make it not look like a Dollar Tree sign. To start, I wanted to try a trick I saw online. You just take some Mod Podge and use small crosshatch strokes over an image. By adding a few coats and letting each one dry in between, it gives the picture more dimension and makes it almost look like a painting. Next, I'm going to add these little sticker dots. I don't actually know what to call them, but I'm going to put them all around the border, front and back. I had these dots in my stash, and if you didn't know, they're available in the Crafter Square, of course, at the Dollar Tree. And don't worry about the color, it's going to get painted. And with my chalk paint, I covered both sides and the base in one even coat, but being careful not to get any on the image. And now the fun part, the finishing touches to make the piece pop. To do that, I'll take some gold Rub and Buff and rub it around the edges and over the dots to make them stand out. And then a little spider glued to the spider web in the corner in the picture, and a black rose I had in my stash completes the look. And here it is styled with our spooky tree. This one just cost $1.50 because I had everything else on hand. The idea for this DIY came from a skeleton candle holder I saw at Pottery Barn and is $39 for just one. And my version is just inspired by this one. All I used were the Dollar Tree tapered candle holders, a pair of skeleton tongs, and some hot glue. You could use a permanent glue, but I don't want a permanent hold in case I decide to repurpose the tongs or candle holders later. Since I'm gluing metal and plastic, the hot glue holds them together really well, but it also comes apart easily if you ever want it to. I also wanted to mention that you could use any tall tapered candle holder. It doesn't have to be from Dollar Tree. I see similar ones at the thrift store all the time. And to be safe, I use LED tapered candles that I got off of Amazon. I'll have a link for them in the description box. You get 6 for $8. I'm not a fan of the Dollar Tree ones. They look a little fake to me. The Amazon candles work out to be about $1.40 each, and they come with a remote control. I also think this candle holder would look great with the black tongs like the inspiration, but I couldn't get white out of my head for bones. But after I saw it, I was rethinking my choice. You could even spray them silver and make them look like metal. That would look beautiful too. And here they are, all finished. Super fast and easy DIY. I think these would look amazing on a buffet or a bunch on a dining room table. And for $2 each, you can't go wrong. And I think I will be spraying mine silver. When I spotted these little lanterns by Birch & Vine, I knew exactly what I was going to do with them. A no DIY DIY. All you need to do is pair them with a Dollar Tree pillar candle holder and voila, a perfect pairing to any tablescape or vignette for Halloween or even Christmas. For our next DIY, I wanted to try and recreate the spooky books I've been seeing online for years now. And of course, Dollar Tree has us covered for books, but you could use what you have or get them from a thrift store. You just don't want to use anything that you might want to read. The first thing we'll do is take off the jackets, and then with some watered down paint or brown wax, we're going to paint the pages. It's a little messy, so make sure your work surface is protected. And by making the paint watery, it's going to do two things. One, it'll make the pages look old, and two, it'll warp your book a little. So don't be alarmed when that happens. It actually makes them look more authentic. Now we need to make them look more textured, and there are two ways to do this. And since it's my first time, I wanted to try both methods. The first method is using a single ply paper towels with Mod Podge. I make my own Mod Podge with glue and water. Start by applying Mod Podge to the book and then add the paper towel, and keep doing that until you have the entire book covered, making sure to add enough Mod Podge to the top and gluing everything down properly, including the edges. The second method is to use tissue paper and do the same Mod Podge technique. I also realized midway through that this got messy pretty quickly, but just by putting down some wax paper, it helped stop anything from sticking to other surfaces. So I highly recommend to lay some wax paper down before you start. Once the books are all covered in paper towel and tissue, leave them to dry overnight. And look at the texture on these books. I think I'm going to have to use this technique on other things. I just love how they came out. The next step is to figure out what you want to name your books. Then start drawing it out on the spine. I use a black marker, but a pencil will work too. Now before you start the next step, make sure you have plenty of hot glue. And once your glue gun is ready to start, go over the words you wrote on your spine. You can also add other symbols, numbers, stars, or whatever you want to make your books your own. Just have fun with it. And after I added the hot glue, I painted the books a coat of lightly watered down black paint, but somehow I don't have footage of that. Now the magic of Rub and Buff. This is where you're going to start to see everything just pop. The texture on the books, and of course all the hot glue words or characters, and you can use any color Rub and Buff. I went with the golds because that's what I had on hand. I then decided to add a couple of the puffy stickers from my stash to the spells book. And actually, you could embellish these books with so many things. I also had keys from an old craft, and I thought it might look cute and finish it off nicely. And here they are, styled a couple different ways. Will you be trying this DIY? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you got some fun, spooky inspiration. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2.